So let's go ahead and jump into the story. Since I basically told you I wasn't going to tell you a story and then told you it anyways, that's just the way it works sometimes. Let's go ahead and hop into the episode. So I know it's difficult to talk about a photo on a podcast, but I have to address this photo. This photo is so scary. This is a photo that I actually saw probably around the time it first came out. It first started to appear on the internet back in 2009. It's known as the Cooper family photo. It is chilling. So what it is, it's like two women and two little boys. And they're sitting around a table, and there's like little candles. They're all dressed in like 1950s clothes. It's black and white. The photo, not the clothes. Well, the clothes are too, but... And then to the left of the picture is the body of a man, supposedly, falling from the ceiling, completely covered in black. You just kind of see the white of its sleeves. Its face is completely obscured in black, and it's just kind of like... Okay, so what it looks like is that somebody was trying to snap a photo, and a man jumping off of a building photobombed it. So we're watching this guy fall in the photo, but the family sitting there don't even acknowledge the person's there. So I'll put it in the show notes. You'll see it on the YouTube channel. And I know that's a bad way to start this segment, but it's a really, really creepy photo. It's creepy on several levels. One, it's creepy because it's an old photo, and old photos are just intrinsically creepy. Two, the fact that we can't see a lot of detail on the falling figure. Well, I guess, too, the ultimate one should be like, there's a dude falling into a photo and no one's reacting to it. And I remember the first time I saw that photo, I had like a visceral reaction to it. I remember like almost reacting in disgust. I was like, oh my God, that's terrifying. And there was no story behind it. It was just this photo that was going around the internet. And again, the fact that they aren't reacting to it just adds to the creepiness. If they were like, oh, like, you know, looking at it and shrieking away in fear, we'd see their reactions, I think, would kind of dull it maybe. But the fact that they're still just kind of doing that weird 1950s stare at the camera like you don't have a soul look. And there's this horrible thing happening right next to them, a supposedly paranormal thing. In 2013, so the picture first posted was really cited online in 2009. On 2013, it finally got a backstory. The weird thing is it got two separate backstories on the same day, different parts of the world. So at two different forums in two different countries on the same day, we got two different stories behind the origin of this photo. Story one was, as the Coopers move into their new home in Texas, they take a photograph of the family sitting together. But as the photo is taken, a body falls through the ceiling. The OP said he wasn't sure if it was real, but he thought it was really creepy. So in that version of the story, that it basically was a photobomb. Someone was taking a picture, a body falls through the ceiling, and the moment is taken like clip, and then they're like, oh my God, there's a body on the ground. Oh no, what happened? The second story, which again appeared on the same day, different forum, the Cooper family has just moved into their new home in Texas. In honor of the housewarming was laid festive table. Okay, so I guess I should have read this more closely. When I said these were posted in different forums in different countries, this one was obviously not posted in a country where English is their first language. So let's go ahead and take another look at this. In honor of the housewarming was laid festive table. At the same time, decided to make some family photos. And when the pictures showed, they showed a strange figure. It seems that someone's body is either hanging down or falling from the ceiling. Of course, nothing like this during the shooting Coopers did not see. So, you know, despite the fact that Yoda apparently wrote that blog post, I think it's apparent that this story says that it was something paranormal, that the people who were sitting at the table did not see anything there. One group was formed to only debunk this photo. They said, let's get these people together. We're going to find out that this photo is fake. So they started, these researchers were all over looking, trying to figure out a way, saying, oh, the lighting's off, the shadow's off, something like that. Eventually, someone joined the forum and said, I'm the boy in the photo. I'm that kid. And here's proof. And this guy sent in photos of himself as a kid at that table. Same candles, all sorts of stuff. This guy's name was Robert Copper. So the original story was that it was the Cooper family, but it turns out that this was the Copper family. So Robert Copper. And that's a little weird that the names are so close. Robert Copper, this is what he said. This is his quote here. When my older brother sent me to this link about the forum, I was floored. We are the two boys in the picture. Well, we were back in 1959. I have many pictures like this one, but not this one. My mother had a habit of throwing away pictures that she didn't like. Eventually, the ones she kept were passed along to me. What annoys me is that somebody got hold of a family photo. The story is almost entirely fiction. Our last name is Copper, not Cooper. Does anybody know who did this? So then they're like, okay, so we have this guy. He said that he was at this table. This never happened. He never saw the original photo. This is all fake. It's been debunked. And then they go and plus the shadows and the lights and all that type of stuff. And one thing they said, the person falling is taking the pose of a ballerina. So they're thinking somebody took a photo of an old-timey ballerina, obscured it a bit, turned it upside down, and they said that's why the necklace on the falling figure is not falling with the figure. It's because it's an upright picture turned upside down. So case closed, right? I don't think so. Now, you might call me a contrarian, because I usually like to debunk stuff, but I think this photo might be real. And here's why. I think in Copper's story, we're given hints. Now, here's the thing. It's totally possible that it's a Slender Man-style creepypasta photo that was created and got loose from its creator. But I don't think so. He said that this is a photo of him and his brother. He said that his mom would throw away photos she didn't like. She had a habit of doing this. Now, if you're going through all the photos you have and you found this one, falling down, this horrible creature falling down in a photo with your kids, and you had a habit of throwing photos away, do you think you'd keep this one? Now, we may, because we're into this type of stuff. But if you're a 1950s housewife and you're like, ooh, you just toss it. Because he doesn't know, the photo is at least partially real. We can argue over whether or not the fallen figure is real, but the photo itself is real. And he's saying, how did this photo get out of my possession or my mother's possession? And it would have had to been held on for this whole long time, and then someone would have photoshopped this guy in. What if she did throw it away, and someone retrieved it and thought this is a creepy photo, and it was in there, they didn't throw it away, it was in their collection for a long time, and eventually their grandson finds it and scans it into the computer, throws it online, because it's super creepy to look at. I think it's weird that the name is close enough, Copper and Cooper, so it wasn't a wild guess. I think it's also weird that both stories took place in the same state, Texas. There's no clues in the picture that it's from Texas. Again, it could just be that it is a Slender Man level creepypasta and everyone was in on it, and Robert Copper was like, whoa, you guys are messing with my life. But I think his story actually gives more credibility to the fact that it is real. I think the fact that he admits that she would throw photos away, that it was, in a sense, partially a true photo. It wasn't photoshopped out of, a bunch of little things. And the complaints about the lighting, the shadowing not being right, the necklace not falling down, my pushback is on, and this is probably going to come to bite me later on when I try debunking another ghost story, but I don't know if ghosts or demons or whatever would cast the same type of shadows. And you go, Jason, light's light, and it's going to bend around the same way. But, if we accept that there is something from another dimension or something that's coming from the other side, and they can see, but yet they're also invisible most of the time, and they can pass through walls, technically their eyes can't accept light in for them to see, so maybe light affects them differently. I don't know. I think it's hard to look at a photo of a ghost, of a presumed ghost, and say the shadows are wrong, the lighting is wrong, because you're dealing with something that is paranormal. Now, there could be other stuff where you're like, no, we can see the pixels, we can see where this has clearly been photoshopped, we can look at the negative, here's the original photo. There's other ways to disprove a ghost photo. But I think by saying things like, I think it's the lighting, I think it's the shadows, I don't think that really works. These guys are still working on this, by the way. They're still trying to debunk this photo, but they're leaning far more towards the fact that somebody took it and photoshopped this guy in because they said, oh, it kind of looks like this ballerina and so on and so forth. But again, I'm not so sure. This might actually be a real ghost photo. I'm not going to put money on it or anything because it may not be. But again, there's something about it that if it is made up, it's a very, very creepy mock-up an otherwise serene event. I don't know. I would probably say, I mean, the logical side of me says, yes, it's a hoax, but that emotional side of me goes, there's just something too creepy about it for it to just be a Photoshop job. But I've been fooled before. So, I mean, I'm not infallible. It would be interesting to know, though, like Robert Copper said, how did the person get one of his family photos, Photoshop it, supposedly, and put it online? Oh, dude, a witch took it! A witch! That's what we talked about our last episode. If photos go missing, that means there is a witch. Robert Copper, do you know Kim Kardashian? We need to know that. Okay, full disclosure, I was just getting the artwork prepped for this episode, and I took another look at the Debunking website, and they actually named this artist. His name is Thomas Ligotti. And it appears that he's the original one who posted the photo. So, what's weird about it is that they're saying that this guy posted the photo and this guy is an artist. Looking at his other art, nothing really matches this, but they all seem to kind of brush over that and spend more time talking about shadows and stuff. So I don't know if this artist is taking responsibility for making the photo or for simply being the first to post it. All the comments are closed on the forum for the photo. So I don't know. It was weird. I must have brushed over that when I first was reading all the debunking stuff, but I did come across that, so that makes it lean more towards it being fake. And that kind of throws off my theory on it, but again, I wanted to let you guys know that because some of you guys do click through the links or already know the subject and be like, hey, you missed that, and I wanted to go ahead and get that out there. Let's go ahead and move on to our next story, where the audio quality will most likely be different. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.